Green Bay Packer football gets back into action tonight with some familiar faces from the past. Let's preview it. Hey folks, Aaron here, Wisconsin Family Podcast. We have made it to preseason game number 1. Always an exciting time of year. It's great. It's summertime. It's hot and humid. Exactly how it should be for a first preseason game. Let's go over a couple of things to watch for tonight. Number 1 on my list, and there's a few reasons for it, is we're going to get a chance to watch the rookies take some meaningful reps tonight. The first meaningful reps that they've really taken all camp. I mean, it's one thing to be there in camp game situation, totally different. So I'm excited to see the rookies tonight, particularly Trey Smack, obviously. Had a good family night. Can he build on that now and have a good preseason game, number 1, 2, and the lights are on. You're on the road. You're in an environment that you've never kicked in before. Let's see how he handles that. Hopefully he quenches a lot of the fears tonight that myself and a lot of Packer fans have. And outside of Smack, it's really interesting how many intriguing rookies are actually on this Packer roster when you consider the fact that they didn't have a first-round pick. Next guy that I want to see from that rookie class is going to be Brandon Cisse. Now, I kind of feel like I already know what I'm going to get out of him. He's got some growing. He's got some settling into the NFL to do, but that guy might be a starter already. If he's not a starter right now, he's going to be very soon. He will be before the season's over, so long as he stays healthy. But how does he react in his first game? Want to be watching that. What does the rotation look like outside of that, just at cornerback with Nixon, with St. Juice? And what are they going to do in the nickel defense with Bullard being hurt right now? So we'll keep an eye on that. But Cisse, I think he's already got his starting spot locked down, but let's see what he does with it here tonight. Next rookie I want to keep an eye on is Jager Burton. Now, he's been a very popular guy amongst Packer fans so far in the offseason, during training camp, during OTAs, a lot of potential there. Where is he going to be? And in addition to that, we'll talk about it again in a second, how does the offensive line shake out? He could play center. He can play guard. We'll see, but everyone's excited to see Burton. People want to see him be in a competition for the center job. I don't think he's going to get that with Ryan or even really be in the mix that much for the conversation, but where do they move him around to, and how does he respond? Another rookie, Dennis Sutton. You want to see him. Seems like he's got a lot of potential as far as getting after the quarterback goes. Obviously, that's going to be a really important thing for the Packers to figure out. While Micah Parsons is out for at least the first 4 or 5, maybe 6+ weeks, they got to figure that out. What rookies are going to be involved in that? DDS gets his first shot on the field tonight. Also excited to see Chris McClellan. Big guy. So a couple of guys on the defense there for the Packers. How do these rookies respond, especially Trey Smack? That's where it really starts, because he is probably going to have more impact on games than any of the other rookies, maybe outside of Cisse. But, I mean, you're talking about a guy with this rookie kicker who is either going to give you points or leave points on the field, so that's important. Number 2 on my list, and this hasn't been talked about a whole lot, I don't think, and I think it's been under-talked about so far in camp, is the running back room. Now, for various reasons, there's a lot of attention put on Josh Jacobs and on Marshawn Lloyd for their own reasons, but the rest of that room is going to be important, okay? You've got Chris Brooks. Let's take him out of the equation. He's going to be there. Matt LaFleur loves the guy. He does what they want him to do in his role. He's basically a fullback. Number 1, we don't know for sure that the legal issues are past Josh Jacobs. That still may come up. Hopefully it doesn't. But not only that, he's getting old. He's hurt this week, and he looked a little bit older last year, too. Marshawn Lloyd, he's Marshawn Lloyd until he isn't when it comes to the injuries. So it's going to be important to see what else they have in that room, because those guys are going to be needed. And even if Jacobs is healthy, even if Lloyd is healthy, there's going to be injuries. Guys are going to be banged up. They're going to need more than 3 running backs at some point this year throughout the course of the entire season. And then last but not least, you can't have a Packer conversation in the year 2026 without referencing the offensive line and what that's going to look like. Now, what are they going to do at right guard? They got Jacob Monk kind of settled in there right now. How is that rotation going to be? Who's playing right tackle if Zach Bacco-Bowelli, a.k.a. Zach Tom, for those of you in Bevent, Wisconsin. How are they going to use the rotation? That is the biggest question mark about this team, because we know that the Packers have a lot of weapons on offense, be it at the quarterback, be it at running back, and then obviously at receiver and tight end. You've got a lot of weapons, but there's one thing that can be the equalizer and derail that, and that's if the offensive line isn't playing well. And then we mustn't forget seeing some old faces tonight. Want to watch that. Packers taking on Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, a couple other old Packers on that team as well. Not going to get into that. Obviously, the headliners are McCarthy and Rodgers. So I share the same sentiment as Aaron Rodgers. I wish this game would have been in Green Bay. Wish they would have had some way to figure out how to do that, but they didn't, and it'll be nice to see those guys again, though, at the end of their, well, at least at the end of Rogers' career, probably getting pretty close to Fat Mike's end, too. But that's what I'm looking for tonight.